today. If she hadn't done this 4 or 5 years ago, we wouldn't be here with all of you today. She also worked with us for over a year in a formal capacity, helping us with a couple of major infrastructure projects. So she's really, been someone who's become very important for us, or became very important for us. Unfortunately, Nazish passed away a few weeks ago, which was really sad. She leaves behind 3 children who've also volunteered for TCF in the past. And having met them at a couple of events, I know how proud she was of them as well. She's going to be missed by all of us. And all I'd ask you to do is, in the next few weeks of Ramzan, please just remember her in your prayers and in your du'as. With that, Hifz, I'll hand back to you, and I'll touch on TCF a bit later. Thank you.
Many thanks for that, Bilal, and certainly, quite a reminder about Nazish, and she was certainly quite an inspiration for South London and for the rest of us who support the TCF as well. But now it gives me real pleasure to introduce Nadeem Hussain. Now, Nadeem is an education economist and activist for reform with a decade's experience in the design and implementation of programs for multilateral and global development institutions, including World Bank and UNDP projects for governments of Sindh and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, not-for-profit organizations that include TCF, Youth Centre for Research and rehabilitation work for urban slums. He's worked with the State Bank of Pakistan, and he writes on a range of subjects relating to social issues, poverty, public finance, and urban planning. His recent book, which I think is due out shortly, is called Agents of Change. And it's a compilation of thought-provoking insights, opinions, personal stories, and suggested actions for change in the K-12 education system in Pakistan, based on TCF's model of quality education. So, Nadeem, it's 1 o'clock in the morning in Pakistan. Am I right? So thank you so much for joining us at this time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's 1 in the morning here in Pakistan, in Karachi. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I've got a few questions that I'm going to ask you. Tell us about Agents of Change, which I believe is co-authored by a TCF USA board member. What inspired you to write it? What's it all about?
So Agents of Change is basically an attempt to understand the K-12 education landscape here in Pakistan. I've co-authored this with Mr. Amjad Noorani, who sits on the TCF USA board. This book covers the quarter century journey of the Citizens Foundation as well, how it was started back in 1995, where it has reached today, and TCF has been presented as a successful model of governance and implementation at scale for the government and other not-for-profit. Agents of Change is a call for action. It calls the larger community here in Pakistan and across the world to own civil, political, and social ownership of education rights in the country. So I think whoever reads this book would really enjoy the reading.
Wonderful, thank you very much. What's your earliest memory of a TCF school?
So if I was an out-of-school child till I was at the age of 8. So the first time that I went to a school, it was a TCF school. And my earlier memories are like when I started school, there was a huge academic gap between my age and the class that I was attending. I found my TCF primary school teachers very, kind and generous with their time. And my memories, they actually vary from staying at school after school time, taking extra help, and everything that one learns in the world, I started learning at my school. So there are a lot of memories.
I'm sure. Zafar, my husband, and I visited one of the schools in Karachi recently. And if there was one thing that I saw from that will always stay with me, was the smiles on everybody's faces. The children just all looked so happy to be in school, and the teachers as well. And I think to see that in a school is quite fantastic. Young people who want to be there, who want to benefit from the education that they're going to be getting. So it really is quite a fantastic thing to see. And certainly I think your description of it as well sort of sums that up. How do you think, though, that your life would have turned out if you hadn't had the opportunity to attend a TCF school?
Yeah, Elsa, you are very right. So I think had there been no TCF school, I would have been roaming around the streets, or perhaps ended working as a child labor during my young age days. And I think I might not have been able to step out of our slum called Ibrahim Goat here in Karachi. And I would have not known the outer world outside our village or goat or slum, whatever you call it. So TCF was not just a school for me. It was a, life transforming, thought transforming journey. And I think at this stage of my life, when I'm 29, trying to make a career for myself and my community, it's very difficult to even imagine where would I have, I have been ended without TCF. So, yeah, life would have been difficult.
I'm sure. Life transforming, thought transforming journey. That is what TCF has provided you with. And I think that's a fantastic description. Nadeem, thank you so much for joining us this evening, or this early morning for you, and telling us about your journey. It really is a perfect example of why the work of TCF is so vital. And I think what you've done is testament to how lives can be changed. I hope you're going to be staying with us for the rest of the evening to enjoy the quiz, but I appreciate it's very early in the morning, so I'm not sure if you're going to head off for some sleep or you're going to be staying with us.
Yeah, I would stay for some time, would like to enjoy the quiz as far as I can stay, but thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for changing so many lives here in Pakistan. You guys are doing an amazing job, I think, on behalf of almost 300,000 kids here in Pakistan. I would really like to thank you all for your generosity and love. So my respects for all of you.
Nadeem, thank you very much. And I'm sure we'll send people details of your book as well. Thank you. Okay, so let's get on with the show, as they say. Before I hand over to my South London counterpart, Tahir, to talk us through the quiz, I just want to run through a few housekeeping rules. There have to be housekeeping rules, don't they, with everything that we do, and even on Zoom. So if we can all just please make sure that your microphones and your videos are turned off. Only the finalists from each of the chapter quizzes is going to be competing in the final. So we have 12 people in total whose names I read out earlier on. If you're a member of the audience and you want to support your team member, which I can completely understand, we might let you turn your microphone on so that you can give a little cheer every so often. But please do post any comments that you may have in the chat box, because the chat box is being monitored. And also, just to let you know, that this event is being recorded and it's also being live streamed on TCF's social media channels. And finally, the last thing from me, have fun. You can still make a donation if you like through the TCF pages. And with that, good luck to everyone. And Tahir, it is over to you.
Thank you, Hifsa. Thank you, Hifsa. I hope you can all hear me. I think you can. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here. My name is Tahir. and I'm from the South London chapter. I want to really thank you all for joining this grand final, both contestants and panelists. I know we have about 30 spectators with us. I hope you all had a great local chapter quiz. I can tell you that the South London quiz was a real thriller. It really was a real nail biter. When I wrote this script, I was just writing that. But now, having played the quiz, it was really exciting. But it's not over yet. We still need to get through this final, in which we are going to find a TCF-UK quiz champion of 2021. And since we've never actually done this quiz before, the winner of this will effectively be the all-time champion. So let that thought just sink in a minute. Now, for the winner, there is glory and a trophy worth, I've had a look at it, it's worth, I'd say at least 4 or 5 quid. So there's everything to play for. So contestants, if you are ready, which you seem to be, head over to the quiz. You see, this is very organized. You've all joined already. Fantastic. And enter the number, which you have, because we're looking at the Jumbotron view here, you know. We reached out to myquiz.org and we said, how can we make this a better experience? And they said, you need to get Jumbotron view. So we got Jumbotron view, and I think you can all see that. They told us it was really futuristic. That's what they told us. But frankly, it looks a bit more like a flight departure monitor at Terminal 3 to me. If you look hard enough, I think you can see the time the flight PIA 786 to Lahore is taking off. Yeah, I can see that. Now, just to be clear, only the contestants should be joining the quiz. And for some reason, I'm seeing 14 people on the quiz, which by my maths is not 3 times 4. I can see Nafis there has joined the quiz, and I'm gonna eject her from the quiz, and I think that's my mum. But mum, I'm sorry, but you are not allowed to proceed with the final quiz. So let's verify the names actually. Can someone help me verify the names? We have Asia, Hussain, Sheikh, Ahmed, Mariam, Ahmed, A79, Farooq and Iman, Sarah, Test 49ish, Shazad, Hamza, Waza. So there are 70, we have 14 active users. So if you are not a winner from your local chapter quiz, can you please, we're down to 12. Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Let's move on then. So as Hifsa mentioned, this final will be made up of 20 questions. Each of the 4 chapters have submitted a round of 5 questions on a given topic. After every round of 5 questions, there will be a pause, and the next chapter lead will read their questions. I will kick off with the first round on international shipping. So I hope you have been brushing up on your maritime law. And by maritime, I don't mean showing up at 11 o'clock for a Karachi wedding. Now, remember, your first answer cannot be changed, and speed does count, but there's no point being fast if it's the wrong answer. Are we ready? I am about to start the quiz on international shipping. Good luck, here we go. What is the name of the ship that was recently blocking the Suez Canal? Answers are coming in fast. The Evergreen, the Ever Ready, the Ever Suez, the Ever Given. The answer is, in fact, the Ever Given, of which a lot of you, 50% got that right, 50% went for Evergreen. Actually, that is what throws a lot of people off. As you can see, it's emblazoned in massive letters on the side of that ship. But actually, that is the name of the Taiwanese marine operating company. The answer was Ever Given. Next question coming up. The blockage was holding up approximately what value of goods every hour? 4 million, 40 million, 400 million, 4 billion every hour. Answer was 400 million. A quarter of you got that right. 4 billion, quite a hefty sum. That was according to the shipping experts Lloyd's list. The BBC reports that 400 million was being held up an hour. Next question coming up, Ahmed's at Springbank in the lead. The long route around Africa is a detour of approximately how many miles? 1,000, 5,000, 15,000, 50,000. And the answer is 15,000 is correct. 1/3 of you went with 5,000. Either way, it's a lot more than the 100 odd miles of the Suez Canal. Now, the route would take you via the island of Madagascar. And the question is, what is the capital of Madagascar? Is it Antananarivo, or Ouagadougou, Maputo, or Like to Move It? Here come the answers. Let's see, is it Like to Move It, or is it not? One of you thought it was Like to Move It, but most of you got it correct. 3/4 of you on Antananarivo. And this is the last question on international shipping coming up. On the island of Antananarivo, on the island of Madagascar, you might find this chap. Let's have a look at him. His name is King Julian, but his complete title is the Great, or the 13th, or the Elder, or the Boss. And the answer is the 13th, of which most of you did not get that right. Only one person, I think, got that correct. Most of you went with the Great. That was 75% of you. I've paused the game as we're going to hand over to the next chapter lead now. Just to let you know, any of the attendees enjoying this, watching the game on Jumbotron, it's saying connecting. The game is still running. When I unpause, it will continue. And the other point to note is that unfortunately, we don't have images on the Jumbotron view, but I think you can still follow along and enjoy the quiz. So it's now time to hand over. But before I do that, we're just going to take a quick look at the leaderboard. And we have Ahmed's at Springbank in first place. Is it by any chance, can we unmute yourself, Ahmed's at Springbank? Can we see who you are, where you are? Ahmed's, can you unmute yourself? If not, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hi, Islam. I hope you're enjoying the quiz, it looks like.
Yeah. But
okay.
Very well.
Where are you joining us from?
From Bradford, outside Bradford, Harden.
Okay. So I can see that Ahmed's are in the lead and they are the part of the Yorkshire chapter. Okay, thank you very much, Ahmed's. We're now going to hand over to Hifsa, back to Hifsa from the Staffordshire chapter. Assalamu alaikum, Hifsa. How was your? Tell me, how was your chapter quiz? Was it riveting? Were there tears?
It was nail-bitingly. Yeah, it was just so tense at times. You could see the leaders, really competing to get where they were. So I'm putting a lot of faith in my 3 panelists for the final.
If I'm looking at the leaders right now, I don't know if you can see that, but who's your top number? Sarah? Hamza?
No, my 3 Staffordshire chaps. We'll see where they're coming up soon.
Don't worry, we'll find out. And the topic of your questions are? Entertainment. Well, in that case, I'm sure we'll find this round very entertaining.
I hope so.
Contestants, are you ready? We're about to start and Hifsa will be reading the questions.
And we are off. In the next 5 seconds. Okay, so which musical was released as a filmed version of the original Broadway production on the Disney Channel because of lockdown shutting down the theatres? Which of them was it? And did any of you see it? And the answer was Hamilton. Wazza's coming into third place. Come on, Wazza. That's one of ours. The next question. What animal is Pumbaa? Is he a hyena, a meerkat, warthog, or toucan? I'm sure we've had a question similar to this one. And the answer is a warthog, 91.7%. Well, I know you lot have all been watching Netflix as well now. It wasn't just me who broke it.
Shut that door.
Number 3, can you name the longest running soap opera on TV and the year it was first broadcast? Was it Days of Our Lives in 1960, Coronation Street in 1960, Coronation Street 1961, or Days of Our Lives 1961? The answer is Coronation Street in 1960. 50% of you got that right. I haven't been watching it since 1960, but I've been watching it for a very long time. Oh, there looks as if there's been a bit of a change in the top 3 there. I'm sure we'll hear more from Tahir at the end of this round. Which children's program had the characters Brian, Ermintrude, and Dylan? Was it Trumpton, the Herbs, the Clangers, or the Magic Roundabout? It was certainly my after school watching. That was a long time ago. And the answer was the Magic Roundabout. I'm impressed. 66.7% of you got that right. That's very good. You've probably seen the film. I think it was remade, wasn't it? Not very long ago. And the next question coming up is, who works at Princeton Plainsborough Teaching Hospital? Is it Dr. Derek Shepherd, Dr. Owen Hunt, Dr. Gregory House, or Dr. Max Goodwin? Dr. Derek Shepherd was also known as Dr. McDreamy. Little bit of information there. But the correct answer was Dr. Gregory House. 75% of you got that right. Brilliant. And I'm sure Tahir will tell us.
Excellent, Hifsa. Thank you very much. There was some change. No, thank you very much, Hifsa. I think we all enjoyed that. And I can see from the leaderboard that the 49ers, who I can tell you are a South London entrant, have moved into first position on 45 points. 49ers, can we have a visual and an audio, if it pleases you?
Yeah. Oh, Assalamualaikum.
Well, Islam, these are the 49ers from Redbridge. Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct.
Excellent, excellent. You're doing very well here. You're in first place. Do you think you're going to be able to hang on to this lead?
We're hoping, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah, inshallah. Let's see what happens. Okay, thank you very much, 49ers. Now, this is in fact the halfway point. We're already halfway through, and it's now time to hand over to Huma from High Wycombe chapter. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Huma, are you there?
I am here. Hello everyone, assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you had a very enjoyable individual chapter quiz, and I'm enjoying this as well.
How was your chapter quiz, Huma? Was it fast and furious? Was it tightly contested?
It was brilliant. It's such a lovely evening. I think I was super, super excited, and then yes, everybody else got excited, so that was really good.
And the topic of your questions are?
Flags. Because
flags. Flags.
Yeah.
Well, I know our attendees and panelists have been with us a long time tonight. We really appreciate that. So I really hope their spirits are not flagging. And we are now going to continue then. Contestants, if you're ready, Good luck. Here we go. And Huma is going to be reading the questions. And I will pause at question 4.
Thank you. Perfect. Well done to the top 3. Let's hope number 3 becomes number 1 very, very soon and throughout the game. So my first question is, which of these countries is the most recent to drop the Union Jack from its national flag? Is it Canada, Fiji, South Africa, or Pakistan? I'm feeling very tense at this stage.
It's been a very tense evening, Huma, I can tell you.
And the correct answer is South Africa. Who said Pakistan? That's what I want to know. But anyway, it's South Africa.
No naming and shaming.
No. Just saying. Well done. And the next question is, if you turn the Indonesian flag upside down, which European country's flag would you get? Italy, Poland, Russia, or Romania? And the answer is Poland. With Poland, you have a white strip at the top and red at the bottom, whereas with Indonesia, it's a red strip at the top and a white strip at the bottom. Oh, I can see that these 3 are still fighting for their places and hopefully the top as well. Next question, why is Wales not represented on the Union Jack? Is it because Wales didn't have its own national flag until 1959? Is there because there was nowhere to put the dragon? Or was it because historically it was a part of England, or in a 1960 referendum, the people of Wales voted against it? Correct answer? Because historically it was a part of England, absolutely. But now Wales is a separate country. Ooh, where did that come from? Hamza, Ibi, and Abir, where did you guys just come back from? That's great. But we've lost Sarah. Hopefully Sarah and her team will be coming back onto the top 3. Moving across to the pond, over the pond even. Since its original design in 1777, how many times has the Stars and Stripes been updated with extra stars as more states enter the Union? 6, 16, 36, or 26? It is indeed 26. And just to let everybody know that the 50th star flag was adopted in 1960 in July, when Hawaii became the 50th and most recent state to enter the Union, making this the longest used version of the US flag. And ready for the last question.
Coming up in 7 seconds.
Perfect. Here it comes. This is the world's only non-quadrilateral flag, but of which country? And the answer is, it is Nepal. All other countries have the 3:2 ratio in their flags, but these guys used a non-quadrilateral to show their allegiance to the Himalayan mountains. Perfect. Thank you, Tahir, for that. And thank you, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for supporting TCF. Best luck to everyone.
Thank you very much, Huma. That was a fantastic round. And we are now going into the last 5 questions. This is where it can all change. We have Hamza, and Ibi and Abir on 60 points. We have the 49ers on 59 points. And we have the Ahmeds at Springbank on 55 and Hussain on 52 and Boyle Staffordshire on 51 and Sarah on 51. That's literally, I think, 6 or 7 contestants all vying for a position here. And Waza is also on 50 points. This is going to be a really interesting end. It's now time to hand over to Raza from the Yorkshire chapter. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuhu. Raza.
Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam, Tahir. I am. And you know what? Does this not remind you of the Eurovision Song Contest?
No, don't bring back such memories, Raza. Don't bring back such memories.
And here are the results from the Yorkshire jury. Ahmed's at Springbank, 100 points.
They have certainly doing very well.
100 points. So
100 points. 100 points. How was your
100 points.
chapter quiz, Raza? Was it
It was
legendary?
fantastic. It
Will
was
they be
legendary.
singing songs about it?
I think they will be writing books about it.
Excellent, excellent. What is the topic of your questions? The final round here, Raza.
Okay, so another great British institution. Have I got news for you? So what we will have are 5 headlines from recent newspapers and websites from Britain and Pakistan, and it's very simple. All you need to do is fill in the missing words. So have I got British Pakistani news for you? Whenever you're ready, Tahir.
Okay, yes. So you just have to pick out the word that is missing in the headline. Contestants, best of luck. Let's just have a look who we have. We have Hamza. Which chapter is that? Can someone tell me? Hamza is High Wycombe. Okay. 49ers is, that's South London, right? Yes. Ahmed's is Yorkshire, and Hussain is, I believe, is Staffordshire. So that means I think we have representation from each chapter in the top 4. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Yes, it is true, actually. Yes. So there's a lot of pressure on you guys. A lot of pressure on you guys. One of you guys is going to have to win this. We're going in right now.
Okay. Come on, Ahmed's at Springbank. Okay, first headline. COVID. England adds Pakistan, Bangladesh, Kenya, and which other country to travel red list? Is it A, Myanmar, B, Vietnam, C, Cambodia, or D, Philippines? And the answer was the Philippines, 100% spot on. This is the headline from the Daily Telegraph with the somewhat controversial news this week that Pakistan has been added to the government's red list of countries, despite its relatively low infection rate. Hamza still in the lead, 49ers second, Ahmed at Springbank still third. Okay, next headline. Riz Ahmed got into trouble for what in Sound of Metal scene? Was it A, smashing upset, B, eating too much, C, speaking too much, or D, ignoring director's takes? And it was A, smashing upset. Well done, 66.7%. Published in Enemy magazine this week.
We still have Hamza in the lead.
Hussain has come from nowhere. Where's Hussain come from?
He was in 5th place.
Well done, Hussain. So, okay, next headline. Meet the Khans, big in where? Is it A, Bradford, B, Blackburn, C, Bolton, or D, Birmingham? Meet the Khans, big in where? And the answer is, of course, Bolton. This is the headline on the BBC website this week, where world boxing champion Amir Khan and his influencer wife Faryal let us into their crazy world in their beloved Bolton home. Come on, Ahmed at Springbank. Take 1 point separates the top 3. Ooh La La, who just launched his own skincare line? Is it A, Fawad Khan, B, Ali Zafar, C, Shahid Afridi, or D, Shaheen Afridi? The clue's in the name, folks. Ooh La La. And it is Shahid Afridi. 50% of you got that correct. International cricketer Shahid Afridi launched his own cosmetics brand Ooh La La after his nickname Lala.
This is it. Last
tight.
Question. Last question.
Final question, folks. Yorkshire in the lead. Final headline. Prime Minister Imran Khan has some words of wisdom for Pakistan's who while in quarantine. Is it A, youth, B, elderly, C, cricketers, or D, politicians? It is indeed A, youth. 2/3 of you got that correct.
That is the final question, was it? That is the final question, and we have a winner. Somebody has come, they were in 5th place at the beginning of the round, and they have gone to the 1st place, and they can't even control themselves, contain themselves. It is Hussain. I believe that is the Staffordshire chapter. Am I correct?
You are indeed.
You are. But before we move on to Hussain, let's just appreciate our other winners. We have in third place, we have the Emma's Springbank, which was Yorkshire chapter on 81 points. On just 82 points, we had Hamza, Ibi and Abir from High Wycombe chapter, I believe. And we have the Hussain, the Staffordshire chapter, which is a fantastic achievement. I'm going to have a word with my South London attendees after this meeting. Raza, are you there? No, so Staffordshire is Hifsa. You fixed this, Hifsa, didn't you? You fixed it.
I admit he's my son, but he's in South London. He's actually in South London with his wife.
Well, so we're going to have to disqualify him from the Staffordshire chapter. He has to be part of South London.
Hussain
well
and
done.
Muniba. So he is
well
actually,
done.
sorry, he's in North London, not South London.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Then we can't claim him. Look,
No.
Hussain, would you like to unmute and give us a visual as well? We want to congratulate you. Are you there?
Is that working?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Okay, well done, well done. But now I'm going to hand over to Bilal right now. Congratulations, Hussain. And I'm going to hand over now to Bilal, a trustee of TCF-UK, to close off. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuhu wa maghfiratuhu, Bilal.
Hi, I think you should be able to see me now. Is that right?
We can.
Okay, great. Let me just make sure I have this up. Okay, that was great. I followed it all along. Hussain, I think given you're in London, you get claimed by South London because North London was beget by South London, as I mentioned earlier. So, look, it's great. I think that was a wonderful event. I've just seen that you have all collectively raised £9,600 through the course of prepping for this quiz into the conclusion as well. So I think that was brilliant. Hussain, your victory today reminds me of mine last year. Tahir, I would like to say that, I was not allowed to defend my title from last year. Anyways, thank you everyone for joining. Look, Citizens Foundation, we've been around Pakistan, as Nadeem said earlier, for about 25 years now. We're in over 700 plus communities, nearly 300,000 students that we are teaching every year and growing as well. I'd like to thank Nadeem for coming on and supporting us in our efforts. Nadeem, I was amazed to see he has a beard. The first time I met him, he didn't have facial hair, and that was at least 10 years ago when he had just gotten into IBA. The guy's actually incredible and a walking advertisement for the Citizens Foundation. And it's incredible that when you hear about his background, basically from one of the slums in Karachi, basically going on to work for the World Bank, writing, co-authoring a book along with Amjad Noorani. It just shows you how much what the importance of opportunity is, and really that's what TCF is about, is creating opportunities. And I've just been reminded that actually raising £9,500 basically means we are also getting availing all of the matching that was made available to us. So we've raised about £18,000. You can top that up with gift aid as well. And when you do that, you have basically sponsored through your work today nearly 150 kids, maybe more, 180 kids, which is effectively a school. So really, really well done, all of you. I know all the organizers were a little bit nervous, but I think they've done a fabulous job, led by Hifsa, Tahir, Farah, Homa, and Raza in Yorkshire as well. So really, really well done to them as well. Can I congratulate Hussain again? I don't have the names of the people that finished in second and third, but I saw Tahir had them up a few seconds ago. I thought it was really exciting as well. There was lots of change. It's just like watching the Premier League. No, not really.
It was Hamza. It was Hamza. Ibi, and Abir
in second.
From High Wycombe.
And then from High Wycombe. Ahmed at Springbank.
Yes.
Well done for finishing in third. My understanding is that those valuable trophies will be delivered over the course of the next few weeks. Please, can you make sure that you send us your addresses so we can ensure that the trophies are delivered. I'd also like to thank Star Crescent for the wonderful advent calendars that they have donated as prizes to the winners of the chapters quizzes. And to Hifsa again for donating 3 cookery books for the grand final winner, to the grand final winners as well. Hifsa is so talented; she does so many different things. Okay, I've mentioned, yeah, I have mentioned the fundraising amounts. I guess I'd like to just close with just a little bit of a reminder to remember us going into Ramzan, zakat, and with your zakat as well, whether you do it as zakat through Ramzan or whether you do it through the course of the year. You know, it takes £9 a month to sponsor a child, you know, to give them a year's education. As you heard from Nadeem, it's transformative. If he hadn't been here, he would have. If TCF hadn't been there, he would have basically, you know, been roaming the streets and either hawking goods or, you know, God knows what else. So it's really life changing. And you know, the other thing to remember is we're across the country, in villages, in cities, in towns, across up and down Pakistan. I saw somebody asking for direct debit details. I think they're on. You can set up a direct debit using the fundraising website as well. I think that can be done there. So with that, I'd like to also close by thanking the TCF team that have been working behind the scenes, supporting the chapter leads in getting all of this organized and set up for today. It was great to see it working smoothly. Question: how do we inform you of our addresses? Sorry. I'll let Sanya, I believe you can send them to the chapter leads and they'll share them with the office for them to be shared so that the things can be sent on. So I wanted to thank the TCF team as well, Sarika, Saraya, Zainab and Sanya for their support behind the scenes. I'm going to stop there. I will say thank you again to all of you. It was really wonderful to see the efforts today. And we have a very short video from the students at the Citizens Foundation that has been put together as a thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Tahir, as well.
No problem, my pleasure.
I think the video's on mute, Tahir.